Shep did it, Douglas Shepard, that's what they told me, I had no idea, but seeing some of those men, you know, those guys were just kids when we had them, and you know, some of them are over 40 years old now, and seeing some of those guys that up there, that was very meaningful, that was very cool.
You guys do a good job of, do you think they do a good job of just taking the three when it's there, and it's been there a lot lately, so they're taking it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, you know, the last two teams we played, and I think Long Beach may have played some too. Stanford didn't. Don't get me wrong, Stanford didn't. But I think before that was Long Beach, and maybe before that, maybe Asheville. And we made a lot of threes. I think they played a lot of zone though. And UMKC played that matchup zone, which we attacked well. I mean, we got the ball in the middle and we're able to make some plays out of that. But I do think the basket, you know, knock on wood, looks very, very large for, you know, two or three of our guys. And certainly those are good shots. And you know, Devontae and Frank, I mean, they combined to shoot 15 threes. I mean, that's a pretty high number, but that's not ridiculous. But what's ridiculous, you make 12 of the 15. I mean, you just don't see guys shoot the ball like that often.
Bill, do you have a relationship with Kareem?
Yeah.
What do you think stick out to you about their team?
Well, I think that their strength. Now, it'd help if they get their full complement of players back, but their strength, to me, watching tape, is their ability to make people have to chase them, and their quickness and their ability to play small and stretch the defense and shoot a lot of threes, and then, you know, on any night, if they, you know, last game I think they were 13 of 34, but that's, you know, that it wasn't quite enough to win on the road, but still yet, you know, you make 13 to 15 threes a game, you're going to have a chance to win. I think that's probably their best chance to win, and then obviously they got to out-scrap people. And I actually thought the first half, you know, they made 6 of their first 8 threes, and then they cooled off some, but I thought they played pretty well the first half. I thought we played really well. But the second half, I think that we got off to a good start, and it kind of, I don't know if it broke their spirit a little bit, but they didn't respond probably the way that Kareem would like for them to. But I actually think this is the best team he's had since he's been there.
Yeah. 30 points in 31 minutes for Frank. Can you just put into perspective how well he's playing?
Yeah, he's playing about as well as anybody. And you know what? The 30 and 31, that doesn't mean anything to me. What means something to me is 30 on 14 shots. I mean, you just, I mean, that's hard to do when you don't shoot free throws. I mean, you can only make 2 points from the free throw line. So, yeah, he's playing about as well as anybody statistically in the country right now.
Kind of to that, I think he's had 5 games this year with 20 points, but also 60% shooting from the field. Have you really seen a stretch of that efficiency go on longer than 5 or 6 games?
Well, I think you know, the law of averages sometimes prevail, and you know, you're not going to shoot it great every game, but the young man has really worked on his shot, and it's a quicker release, and he's doing a lot of things, and the basket's large to him right now. But you know, Frank's value isn't shooting the basketball. His value is his toughness and leadership and those sorts of things. But right now we're fortunate because we're getting both.
Another complete effort from Josh. You kind of wanted to talk about getting more involved yesterday. Do you feel happy with how you?
I thought it was Josh's best game since he's been here. I thought he did everything. You know, if guys could catch the ball and finish, you know, he'd have 8 or 9 assists instead of 5. But he rebounded the ball better than anybody has at any point in time this year, offensively, and certainly inside the zone, he makes the game so much easier for everybody else.
You mentioned his versatility before. You keep seeing something maybe new out of him every game?
He's just now starting to get it. I mean, I still think his best ball is down the road as he gets more comfortable. You know, we got to figure out a way to post him more. You know, he's got to shoot his free throws better. He needs to get where he probably is stretching the defense a little bit better and doing some things. But I mean, blocking shots, altering, rebounding, pitching ahead in transition, making the game easier for others. I mean, he's about as good as I've seen. And inside his zone, you know, I told him he was good in there, but you know, he's got a long ways to go before he's as good as Julian Wright inside the zone. You know, he's the best. And I tell you what, he's not far off of, you know, if he's not already there.
Every time we talk to him, he talks about offensive rebounding. He says you emphasize that to him.
Yeah, well, to me, he's an extra possession guy. I mean, Josh came in here with the reputation, as you guys know, of being as competitive as any high school kid's been in a while that's really, really talented. And I think part of the competitiveness is shown by the extra possessions, rebound, and those. And I don't think he was doing a great job of that, but here of late, he's really started to rebound the ball.
You've talked in the past about trying to get teams to play up to their ceiling. I know it's only 9 games in, but with the way you guys have shot it recently and how you shot it tonight, how close do you think this team is offensively?
Offensively, I think we can get a lot better because we don't have an inside presence consistent inside presence. But I will say this: you know how you should judge a team if they're playing close to their ceiling is when you shoot 15% from three, as opposed to 60%, and you still figure out a way to win. That's what we haven't seen yet. You know, we actually did see it. We saw it against Duke. We're 2 of 17 and figured out a way to win and didn't make any. 2 of 17 and 9 of 19 from the free throw line against the #1 team in the country. To me, that's been by far the best performance we've had because we didn't play well, but we made the other team not play well. And I think so many times when you make shots, you kind of take the foot off the gas in other areas, and we got to get more consistent with that.
You started Speed for the second half. Any reason behind that?
Yeah, I just didn't think Legero was into it. I didn't think Legero played as well in the first half. I didn't think Udoka played well in the first half, and that was why. But I also think that maybe guys don't need to get comfortable too. But I'm real pleased with Legero. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't think he was as good in the first half as what he had been.
What's it mean personally to get number 600?
I really hadn't thought about it. You know, we've coached them. You know, to get that many wins, which, you know, in the big scheme of things, it's not a milestone because there's so many guys that got more than that. But it's a pretty significant number. And knowing that I think we've been a head coach now for this is our 24th year, so 23 and a third years, and to have that number, that's pretty significant. But what's significant to me more than anything is to see those guys up on the video board and how many players that my family, you know, Cindy and Lauren and Tyler have seen come through. Going back to ORU when you're losing 18 in a row and all those kids are eating at your house every week and hanging out and you kind of watch them grow up to where we are now. That to me is what makes it, you know, special. The number 600, when you coach at a place like Kansas, you should win a lot of games if you coach here a long time. So that's not as significant, but to see all those other fellas, that makes it pretty special.
They said they tried to make you cry in the locker room.
No,
No?
they weren't going to do that. No, they could. They weren't going to do that. All I got to do is think about how we shoot free throws. So, I don't cry when I'm that mad. So.
I know it comes natural to you to say like we or us. You've said that the last 2 days, or every time you reach a milestone like this, you say we or us. So why is that so important to you to, I guess, include not just say I, but we or us, and kind of include everyone in that?
There's you know, this is a team game. There's no I. If you hear our players talk, I hope they always say we or us. And if you hear the assistant coaches talk, they should always say we or us. I never did anything in this game. It's always a team effort in anything that you do, whether it's good or maybe not even so good. So I've always been one. I learned that from Coach Brown, and then with Leonard, and then again with Coach Sutton. That I shouldn't even be part of your vocabulary. You know, when you talk about team type things.
All right, Coach.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks,
Coach.
guys.